So my third tip to help you clerk smarter, not harder, is clerk smarter with the Eisenhower matrix. What is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important. And these are the words of the 34th President of the US, Dwight Eisenhower, and he was a crazy and amazing productive person through decades of work. And he created, one of the things he created is this tool you can see here. It's a matrix, or it's called the Eisenhower box. And it basically divides it into 4 quadrants. So urgent, important task, you must do it right now. Not urgent and important, schedule it. Not important and urgent, delegate it. And not important and not urgent, delete it. So I'm just gonna dive into those a little bit now. I'll just move the slides on there. So in quadrant 1, urgent important tasks demand your attention and will most likely have consequences and store you taking action. So often clerks think about tasks in this top left-hand quadrant are related to deadlines. So you're thinking about year-end, budgeting you're just completing or should be completing right now, elections and so forth all belong in this quadrant, but it isn't necessarily correct. We know about these deadlines, or we normally have a rough timescale on them well in advance, and there is a particular rhythm to how we kind of do administration and business in local councils. Therefore, these tasks should belong in quadrant 2. Quadrant tasks are most, so this is kind of, a lot of you, I think you're working, as you know, the statistics just shown, over 50% of you are working, or 60% working in this quadrant, important, urgent. You are firefighting, but most of these tasks come from external sources completely out of your control, like an emergency incident or an important inquiry. You know, for example, you might receive a call from a mother whose son has just cut their leg on some play equipment. This really requires you to completely stop what you're doing right now, go out there, investigate the piece of equipment and take action, maybe close off the area and get it repaired. That is quadrant 1, that is firefighting. Quadrant 1 may also be used for tasks that were in quadrant 2, the schedule it, but the deadline is approaching. Hopefully you should be well underway with preparation, with the workload involved for that deadline, but it's just kind of coming to the top now. And for example, you've got your draft budget meeting next week and you've got to get that done, just the final bits of it done, but you've already been prepared, you knew it was coming, so it moves into the urgent tasks box. The tasks here are inevitable in everyday lives, as well as work, but it's important not to dwell on those or procrastinate. You just got to get them done, because they're, most of the time, they're out of your control. So as I said before, we really want to avoid becoming a firefighter, constantly putting out fires. This will quickly drain your energy, overtake those long-term goals that we're going to talk about next, which isn't the best way to work. So moving on into quadrant 2 on the right hand side here. This is where you really should be getting all of your work done. They're not urgent tasks, but they're important tasks. They're important for you to achieve your long-term goals. This is where, it allows you to, really to stay on top of your tasks through prioritization. And this ultimately will decrease the number of problems that keep popping up on the left-hand side, the top left-hand corner, the firefighting. So a good, maybe an example of that is you keep putting off your monthly bank reconciliations, and you're gradually, you've just been putting them off month by month, and now you're approaching year end. You just try and get them all done at once for the whole year. And then you come across a discrepancy in the from 5 months ago, and it just takes up so much. It's difficult to go back in that time. It takes up so much time, and then you're into the firefighting mode. If you would have been, scheduled in that monthly bank reconciliation, you actually did it, then you won't be in that firefighting situation when it comes to year end. But scheduling is not just about finances, such as budgeting and year end, etc. But it can be anything that you need to get to. It's coming up, you've got to do it, you don't want to firefight it, so preparing agenda for your council meeting, publishing minutes, maybe obtaining quotes for insurance, etc. You need to push out communication. Could even go in further around planning for community events, applying for grants, etc. All kinds of things that you need to do. They have a deadline, you can schedule it, and you won't be entering that firefighting phase. But also super important in this quadrant is to schedule your own downtime. I do it in my calendar, my team do it in their calendar. They will put their lunch in there, and our team, we respect that, so you can schedule that, going for a walk, getting some fresh air, also attending training such as this event here, completing your silk qualification or whatever. You can put all these other things in to scheduling it, and I'll talk more about creating good habits there. So going down to the left hand side, when the delegate, this quadrant is often kind of called the urgency trap. So you're driven to complete these tasks because of some kind of real or more likely assumed deadlines, and they really have little meaning to you, more meaning to other people. So in that survey that came up, and these tasks are, as I said, are often based on other people, expectations on you, and priority. But these are the tasks you want to delegate it, and often you are a clerk and there is actually no one else to delegate to. So but you mustn't just think about delegating it to someone else. There's all kinds of tools out there that you can do that to make your life easier. So I'll be talking more about those later. Then finally, on the quadrant 4 there, we're spending a bit longer on this point there, but this whole topic, because it's quite important, is deleted. So while delegating tasks frees up some of your time, it's really this quadrant where you're going to really free up most of your time. There's no faster way to do something and then free up your time is just don't do it at all. So these contain all your not urgent or not important tasks. Time-wasting activities, particularly when it's in your working time. They don't contribute to any of your long-term goals and can often make you feel unproductive and should be avoided. I mean, on a personal side, if you have personal goals, staying fit and healthy, eating good meals, getting exercise, those can be quickly, thrown out the window, and you can find fast food, unhealthy snacks. If you're doing it, you just need to delete that so that you can focus on better habits. But hopefully through the scheduling of the tasks and the delegation, you will be able to free up time in your calendar to do things that are healthier for you. But also it goes on to other unhealthy things around, going on. Perfectionism can be one in there, social media, reading the news all the time, all these kinds of things. You guys, know yourself best and what is the things that you need to stop doing it. So that kind of wraps up the Eisenhower matrix, or the best nice way to categorize your task and prioritizing it into these 4 quadrants.